Hola. Hi, everyone. Peace, love, and harmony to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you? It's been a long time. I know I haven't made a video in a long, long time. And there's actually really good reasons why, but I'm not going to share that with you right now. It's something that's a little bit private and intimate, but you know me, I'll share it eventually. Okay. I'm just not right now ready to share with you, but I want to welcome you. Hi, everybody. How was Easter? I loved it. Easter was so beautiful. I bought my very first Easter dress. So, yeah, I felt just lovely in it. But I don't know if you can tell, I'm wearing a lot of makeup. A lot. Look, I have eyelashes on. I know. I don't even have eyelashes on ever in my life. I had eyelashes when my daughter Jasmine got married. That's the only time I ever did eyelashes. So, I feel like a little bit special. So I'm like, oh, I have some makeup on. Let me do a video since I got my makeup on. So I I did a TV show today. It was really awesome. The only thing is that I always feel like I'm really prepared to do TV or radio, but I forgot to brush my hair. Like I didn't forget to brush my hair, but like it's not that important to me. So oh my god, I look a hot mess. I honestly look like a hot mess. Okay, like everybody else on the screen was like all made up and dolled up, and I'm like here this like hot mess. So whatever, what can I do? That's just me, I guess. But the topic was we talked about, of course, domestic violence, human trafficking. We talked about feminicidio or femicide. Feminicide. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? I gotta figure out how to say it properly in English. So we talked about that. It was at La Iglesia Universal, the Universal Church. They have an awesome TV show called Rompiendo el Silencio or Breaking the Silence. So we touched on that today. So that's why you see that I have like heavy makeup on today. But I want to talk to you today about, as you can see on the title, alcohol is not the cause of domestic violence. Okay, it's not the reason why abusers abuse. That is a myth. Okay, alcohol does not cause violence. The person who drinks a lot and then becomes violent, the alcohol didn't make them violent. They already are violent. They already have that inside of them. The alcohol helps to bring it out, but it doesn't make them violent. Does that make sense? So we're going to talk about that today. And I'm going to tell you, this is a story that I share every time I'm ever doing a presentation. If I'm at a middle school, high school, college, university, anywhere I'm at, it doesn't matter. I tell this little short story because I think it's really impactful. And for me, as an adult, looking back at this story, it's like, oh wow, like yeah, definitely this story, it makes a lot of sense. And I shared this story during a presentation that I did at UCR. And my sister, my brother, I had invited them to come and watch me speak many years ago. And as I told this story, my sister was listening, and then she told me fragments of the memories that she had of this story that I hadn't even remembered. So when we talk about domestic violence and we share our testimony, all of us victim survivors, keep in mind that we're just sharing little fragments. And they're like that, even that word, it's fragmented, right? It's not like this is my story, here it is in black and white. It's very complex. And you might hear a victim survivor tell the same story over and over, and then there's pieces that are left out or there's pieces that are added in because it's very fragmented. That's how domestic violence is. So this story, many of you have probably already heard it, but I want to share it here on YouTube. It is back in the day. Now I'm talking back when I was, like I'm 52, so back when I was like 7, 8 years old, before I was 8 actually. um, my family who immigrated here to Orange County, California, from Saguayo, Michoacan, Mexico, we had a lot of friends also from the same place, right? We had a lot of like a small community of immigrants, and we all gathered together at each other's homes, and a lot of partying. But the parties were very unique. Like today, if I, for example, all the parties that I ever threw, it was very um, diverse and communal, and nobody was separated. We all were together, right? But back in the day when I was growing up, parties were very like the men always were in the backyard. The women were always in the kitchen. Seriously, always. And the children, us, we were all over the place. We were playing hide and seek, or we're doing whatever it is that we're doing, just having a good time. But I was very observant. And I remember watching how much fun the men were having, because there was a lot of laughing, but there was also a lot of drinking. They had these big bottles of this alcoholic drink. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's brandy or whiskey. I don't know what it is, but it's called Presidente. And there was a lot of beer. Always, maybe tequila. I don't actually remember seeing the tequila, but I'm just like putting it out there. Maybe, I'm guessing. Excuse me, but for sure, Presidente, that bottle, and a lot of cerveza beer. And they had fun. They would sing songs, like do kind of like this, karaoke before even karaoke was popular. They would sing together, they would laugh, tell jokes, high five each other. They would sometimes even like hug each other and cry on each other's shoulders, depending on circumstances that was happening in their lives. They would support each other. There was this like camaraderie, and they were very tight, and they all made plans for the future, and it was just very jolly, right? But soon after the party was over, my father would be driving drunk. He's drunk driving. Yes, with kids in the car. Always, like all the time. And he would be drunk driving and driving the car back home. And of course, my mom is the passenger. My little brother Carlos, my older sister Yolanda, and I were in the back seat of the white Nova. It was a white 1972 Nova. It was a really beautiful car. It's still a beautiful car, but we're in the back seat and we're terrified. We're scared because my father is driving really aggressive, and he's cutting people off, and he's in and out of lanes, and he's just driving recklessly, and he's drunk. And he actually notices that we are in fear, like we're scared because we're holding each other's little tiny hand, and we're like, right? And he realizes, oh, my babies are scared. What does he do? He goes faster, scares us even more. And so my mama, what does she do? Well, she speaks up. She doesn't try to speak up. She actually spoke up. But the way that she spoke up, was very like, hey, can you slow down, please? And then silence. And it was like this kind of like a silence of like relief, because, oof, nothing happened. Nothing's happening. But pretty quickly after the silence, while my father is still driving, he made a fist with his right hand, and he put his fist onto my mama's face. Boom, right in the face. And what followed was a verbal attack on my mother, a verbal attack after the physical. How dare you, woman, tell me how to drive? Women drivers, that'll be the day. And he could just be spewing out poison forever and ever. Let me do a little sidebar before I continue. I'm not here to badmouth my father. I'm not here to talk bad about my father. He's deceased. He's passed away. He's dead. He's not here, right? I'm not going to talk bad about him. I'm telling you her story. Yes, my story of what I remember, my memories, right? And so that's what it is. And then to have somebody like my sister Yoli, who's like my always been my companion in this lifetime of abuse. My sister corroborates my story and added to the story later on. So back to the story. So he's just spewing poison out of his mouth and telling her how dumb she is and women drivers and blah 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 blah. And then he got pulled over. hmm You know where he got pulled over? On the corner in Santa Ana, on the corner of First and Flower, that 7-Eleven and Santa Ana High School, that little corner there. He got pulled over by a motorcycle cop, and the motorcycle cop leaned into the window, and he said to my father, "Sir, why didn't you slow down?" And you know what I thought at that moment? I thought, oh man, poor cop. He's in big trouble. My father's going to punch that cop in the face, because that's what my father does. Did my father punch the cop? No, he did not. Why not? Well, because my father made a decision. The decision that he made was, don't hit the cop. That's a decision my father made all on his own while he was drunk or high or both. He also made two other decisions that night. One decision, the very first one he made was, do not beat up my buddies, my homeboys. Don't beat them up. Second decision, beat up my wife. Third decision, don't beat up the cop, all while he was drunk. And the next morning, my father would actually say, oh, I don't remember hitting you. I was drunk. I must have passed out. Oh, I blacked out. I don't even remember. He wouldn't even like take responsibility for it. Okay, so let's say that you actually hit my mom because you were drunk. Then wouldn't that mean that you would also hit the cop, your friends, or just random people if alcohol was the reason? See, alcohol is not the reason. You already are aggressive. You already are mean. You already are violent. You already are abusive. Alcohol just makes that come out. So it's not the reason. So if you are living in this environment where you are being harmed by someone, there is help for you. You are not alone and you don't deserve it. And if you are the person who harms, there's actually help for you as well. You don't have to do this. You don't have to hurt the person that you love. And there's also help for you in your communities. I mean, like now with, information is at the tip of our fingertips on our phone. We just Google, right? You can just help and it'll be out there. If you want to reach out to me, please send me a message and I'll be happy to get back to you. But watching and being in this environment, it really does make us children believe that violence happens because of drugs or alcohol, right? So then we actually put the blame and the responsibility on the drugs or the alcohol, not on the person causing the harm, which in this case was my father causing harm to my mother. And a lot of people knew of the violence. A lot of adults knew that my father beat my mother. And you know what they did about it? Nothing. They did nothing. Nobody did anything. So if you know someone who's in an abusive relationship and you are doing nothing, then you're not part of the solution. What can you do? Reach out to your buddy, to your friend, to your homeboy, to your compadre, and be like, hey, bro, whatever, I don't know, cousin, I notice the way you talk to your partner. How do you think it makes her feel when you talk to her like that? It's okay to be like, I'm watching, I can see it, and it's not healthy. And don't judge them, don't put them down, don't embarrass them, but actually talk about it and bring it up and then talk to the victim survivor. Hey, how does it make you feel when your partner talks to you like that, right? That way you can start opening up this conversation and talking about this topic and not feeling so alone. So for today, thank you for watching this video. Alcohol is not the reason why domestic violence happens, although in a lot of the police reports that I read in my career, there is drugs or alcohol involved. But that's not the root cause. And I'm not going to give you the root cause right now. I'm not going to tell you like, this is why domestic violence happens, because I want you to keep watching some of my other videos that I'm going to make. But I am eventually going to tell you why does domestic violence happen. So now I'm going to go take off these eyelashes because I am actually feeling really, really weird. I'm not comfortable with all of this makeup. So I'm going to go and take it off. But I wish all of you peace, love, and harmony. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Rest your wings in halo. Do practice some self-care. Okay. Peace, everyone. Bye.